Half a dozen suspected terrorists are free men today. The U.S. releasing the Gitmo detainees to Uruguay, of all places. From our nation's capital to the state capitals, 20 states suing President Obama over his executive actions on immigration. Governor Scott Walker will join me live and tell us why Wisconsin is now all in. And Together for the Holidays, an organization dedicated to making sure that no wounded soldier spends Christmas alone. You'll hear from one of our wounded warriors and how Luke's wings gave him much more than just a plane ticket. I'm Shannon Bream. America's News Headquarters, live from the nation's capital, starts right now. And we began with this Fox News alert. After 12 years in Guantanamo Bay, 6 suspected terrorists are now refugees in Uruguay. The deal had been in the works, we're told, for months, comes amid President Obama's renewed push to close Gitmo. Leland Vittert is following the story. Hi, Leland.
Shannon, no question this has political implications on 2 levels. First, it gets the Obama administration closer to the magic 100 number, where President Obama feels he could keep his campaign promise to close the Gitmo prison. Second, at least one of the detainees sent to Uruguay is involved in a lawsuit to have videos of him being force-fed during a hunger strike released publicly. Obviously, that dynamic now changes. This is the largest transfer of Gitmo prisoners since 2009. And remember, a significant number of those released have been known to head right back to the battlefield.
Some of these intelligence services who do these agreements about agreeing to watch them or monitor them can't do it. So we pay money. Remember this. Now we're going to pay a lot of money to these countries who take these particular prisoners. What we have found in the past is it doesn't work very well. I don't think that surprises anybody.
Uruguay is nestled along the Atlantic Ocean between Brazil and Argentina. Population a little more than 3 million, most of whom are Christians. The CIA World Factbook doesn't even break out a Muslim population. And keep in mind, its longtime president spent more than a decade under very harsh conditions in prison during the country's military rule. Uruguay has been long known as a safe haven for those not wanted elsewhere in the world. After World War II, a large number of Nazis fleeing Allied justice ended up in the South American country. Shannon.
All right, Leland, thank you very much. Joining us now, Budget Committee Ranking Member and Armed Services Committee Member, Senator Jeff Sessions. And Senator, we have booked you today. We're going to talk extensively about immigration, but any reaction you have to this news out of Gitmo this morning?
Well, it's very, very disturbing, frankly. Congress has resisted this, refused to fund the money to close Guantanamo, or it would already have been closed and everybody released, I suppose. So this is one of the things that got Secretary Hagel terminated. He refused for 6 months to certify, apparently, these very individuals. He finally did, but it angered the political crowd in the White House, no doubt.
All right. Well, we're going to continue to track this because we're now, I think, in the region of about 135 or so, less than 140 there, and many questioning whether the president's plan is to simply release them until Guantanamo Bay no longer has anybody living there. That's one way to close it. We want to talk to you, though, much more about immigration. This is something that you have been sounding the alarm on for years now on Capitol Hill. We've seen the president take executive action. What are your greatest concerns about the reality of this? Because, you know, I've gotten here the White House's report on this saying immigrants are job creators. They're going to have a positive impact on the economy. What are your concerns?
Well, there are a lot of concerns. First of all, the president exceeded the laws of the United States dramatically. He basically nullified existing immigration policy in America and has enacted a policy, a new policy of immigration that Congress explicitly, repeatedly has rejected. Rejected in 06, 07, 10, 13, and 14. So this is a rejected policy that he's carrying out, and it's illegal, unconstitutional, as he himself admitted on a number of occasions. So that's a big challenge. And secondly, we don't have enough jobs for working Americans. We've got the lowest percentage of Americans in the working ages actually working today, Shannon, since 1970s, before women fully came into the workplace. So we have a difficult problem, especially for lower skilled workers. We need them working, not on welfare, not unemployed, not working just a few hours a week, but we need their wages up, which are down $3,000 per family since 2007. We're declining below inflation rate. So this is a direct disadvantage and harmful attack really on working Americans.
So how do you rebut what the White House says is they're actually now bringing these immigrants into the taxpayer status, saying we're going to get them on the rolls, they're out of the shadows, they'll be contributing to the tax base. They point to the CBO, Congressional Budget Office, nonpartisan, saying based on the information the administration's given the CBO, they predict that they'll have a net positive impact on the deficit.
Well, some of the people will pay taxes, but a huge percentage of them will be in that income level, the earned income tax level, or who have children, the child tax credit, which are basically checks from the federal government. So their incomes will be so low, they'll pay no income tax, as many millions of Americans do today, but they will get a check from the government for earned income tax credit or child tax credit. So it's going to cost money, really, in the long run. And people are...
To be clear, you're saying that the federal government would be paying out tax dollars to people who are here illegally?
Absolutely. Under this plan, the White House just said a few days ago that if you pay into Social Security, you pay into Medicare, you get the benefits of the tax system. So they will not really be paying income tax because their level is below the income tax level, but they will be eligible for tax credits, which are basically checks from the federal government. So I think that's a huge factor. And also remember that if you come into the country late and you work a number of years and you qualify for Medicare or Social Security, you benefit from those the rest of your life. And most people that paying into Social Security take out far more than they pay in, particularly lower income people. So it might pop up and show in the short term an increase in Social Security income. Nobody's talking about the draw that they will put on to the Social Security program in the years to come.
And the solvency of those entitlement programs is questionable at best, even under the current status quo. I want to ask you...
Did I say that? That's exactly correct. We are desperately trying to figure out a way to save Social Security, save Medicare over the long term. This will make the long-term problem of fixing Medicare and Social Security much, much harder.
All right, I want to talk to you about what's happening in the House. There are a lot of moving parts. There's a lot going on there. There's a funding bill that could be introduced as early as tomorrow. And there's this question about whether House leadership, House GOP leadership, the Speaker John Boehner needs Nancy Pelosi and several of her Democrats to vote with him because there's some a break within the party about conservative Republicans who say they don't want to go along with this funding measure. They think it's not going to do enough to stop the president with regard to immigration and executive action. Is anyone, including House members, the public, is anybody going to have time to look at that bill, know what's in it, be able to address the concerns before it's up for a vote?
There's no way this huge bill can be addressed effectively. It's going to be thousands of pages passed maybe Monday night in the House. What we do know is that it will allow the president to move money around and fund his executive amnesty program. We just discovered last week that they are renting a building across the river here in Bristol City, hiring 1,000 people to process these identifications of illegal people. They'll be given a photo ID, a Social Security number, allowed to participate in Social Security and Medicare, and be able to work anywhere in America, taking any job in America. And we don't have enough jobs today. So this will be 5 million people. So I was hoping and still hope that the House will put real language in that bill that controls that. And some say it can't be done, but it was done on Guantanamo for years now. We have refused to fund and provide the president money to close Guantanamo because it would result in the release of dangerous terrorists.
Or of bringing them back here.
Or bringing them back here. And so Congress has done that, and they can do it on this, and I hope it will. Look, the American people care about this. Recent polling data showed it was the #1 issue in this recent Louisiana Senate seat, 44%, compared to Obamacare in the 30s. So this is a big issue. The American people will be heard sooner or later. It's not going away, and we're going to continue to fight for it.
Well, as I'm sure you will be tomorrow, we'll be tracking this House bill minute by minute and trying to learn all we can about it before it goes to a vote. Senator, always good to see you. Thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you, Shannon.
All right, back to our top story. We want to hear from you. We talked briefly about how the administration has now released 6 Guantanamo Bay detainees to Uruguay. We want to know your thoughts. Tweet them to us. You can tweet me at Shannon Bream or the show at ANHQDC. We will read some of your answers later in the show.